Hello students, in this experiment we are going to study the frequency of a fork by Melde's experiment. Here you see the battery eliminator. You can see here I have kept some 8 volt. So we have two connections here and they are connected here. Okay. So in the Melde's apparatus, the positive terminal and the negative terminal are connected to these both terminals. Now when you switch on, okay, you see here there are two directions Melde's apparatus. One is longitudinal and the other one is transverse. Now you see here this is the pan. Here you have different masses. This is the adjustable. Okay, now it is in transverse mode. Transfer means they will be along the same line. Okay. In longitudinal mode, we have to place this one in the 90 degree. That is right angles to this thread. Now you can use this button to turn it off and turn it on. So you have the power supply there, you have switched on, then you have this power button here, you can switch it on. So now the power is going to this Melde's apparatus, so you can turn it on and you have to adjust this screw. Okay, when you adjust this screw you get some spark there. You can observe here some spark. The spark should be very little. Yes, this much adjustment is enough. You can see here, you can see some spark. Okay, so now it is in the transverse mode. Okay, so now what we have to observe, we have to see the loops here. I will adjust and see the loops here. Now the loops are little visible, you can see here. I will adjust this one. You get the loop. Yes, now you can see the loops here. Okay, you can see the loops here. Similarly, you have n number of loops here. Okay, you have n number of loops formed here. In the mass pan, I have not added any mass, so I add some mass here. This is 50 gram. So I place it here. Then I will turn it on. Adjust this screw. You should get this noise, then you will get the loops. Okay, to get a good loop, what you have to do, you have to adjust this and you have to see what is happening there. Okay, so that should be in a straight line. Let us first set this in the straight line. Okay, now the weight added here is 50 gram. So now no loops are formed. So here you adjust this and see. Yeah, you are getting loops here. You can see the loops here. So you have to count how many loops are here. So this is 1, this is 2, then this is 3, then this is 4, and this is 5, and this is 6. You have to avoid the first and last loops always in order to get the good reading. Okay, so the loops are ending. So what I do, I don't consider this first loop and the last loop. In between, how many loops are there? Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I have to measure the length of these 4 loops. Let me measure it. So this one starts here. So I leave this first loop, start the second loop. So it's a 100-meter scale. So that point, then from this point to here, I will change the mass. You can see here. It is 20 gram. So let me take this out and let me place this 20 gram. Now let me observe. You can see here the loops are formed. I adjust this to get clear loops. So I have changed the weight from 50 to 20 gram, and I adjust this to get the loops. Let me adjust and see. Yes, now the loops are formed. You can see the loops here. Yeah. So now we have to count the number of loops. Okay, we have to count the number of loops here. From here you have to count. So this is the first loop, we have to avoid it. Then we start from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so this one at the end we have to avoid. So here totally 6 loops are here. So let me measure the length of the loops. from here. Okay, then from this position, okay, 200 centimeter, and the remaining it is around 21. Okay, so totally 6 loops and the length is 221 centimeter. And again we will change the mass of the pan. Let me take 10 gram and replace this 20 gram. Okay, 10 gram, you place it on the middle. Okay, now you see whether loops are formed or not. If not, you have to just adjust a little to get good loops. Yes, now you are getting the loops. But adjust till you get the good loop. Yeah, I'm adjusting and seeing it. Okay, so in this position you can observe good loop. But okay, yes, so now you have to count how many loops you avoid this first loop. Then you start from here. Here you have the length of the loop is small. Okay, as you decrease the weight. Okay, so you avoid this one, so it count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This last one don't consider. Okay, so totally 8 loops. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to write all those readings in the table and you measure this length. So totally we got 8 loops, so you have to measure the total length for 8 loops. So excluding the first loop, I start here. Okay, here, then from this position where we left, the point, then I can take this point. Okay, that is this place. This is around 62. Okay, in 62 we are getting the end of loop. So 8 loops we get to 62. Okay, so similarly you have to repeat this experiment for all these different weights. Okay, so you have a 100 gram, you have 50 gram, you have 20 gram, you have 10 gram, then 5 gram, 2 gram. Okay, so you can do this experiment for all the experiment, all the masses. So now what you have to do, you have to change this transverse mode into longitudinal mode. This is something important. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just turn this to 90 degree. Observe carefully. And just change it to 90 degree. Okay, so this is called a longitudinal mode. It will be in L shape. Okay. Okay. You have to keep those in straight line. Okay. Okay. Now the power is on. So let me adjust this screw. Okay, we are getting that noise. Noise indicates the loops are formed. You get some spark here. You can observe the spark. Yeah. In this place you can observe some spark. Okay. Okay, now let us calculate the number of loops. The same procedure is repeated again for this longitudinal mode as we have did for transverse mode. Okay, so we can have the weight, you can add some weight, and you start adjusting this. You have to see whether you are getting loop or not. If you are not getting loop, then you have to adjust this screw. And see whether loop is formed or not. The screw should not be more of tight. It should have some vibration. Now let us loops are formed. Let me check. Loops are formed, but they are very small. So you have to adjust this screw. Yes, this noise indicates, yeah, now the loops are formed. Very good. Now you are getting excellent loops. Okay, yeah, see now how the loops are formed. Beautiful. So now again you have to count the number of loops. So first loop, you can avoid this one. Then this is the, just a minute, it will come. So this is the first one, let us avoid. Then here you have the second loop. So there is 1, then here you have 2, and here you have 3, and this one is the final one you can avoid. So totally there are 3 loops in the longitudinal mode. So we have to write it in the table of 3 loops. So what is the length you have to measure for the 3 loops? So it is 1 meter. Okay. So it is 200. Okay. It is 200 centimeter. Okay. Now similarly you have to repeat this experiment. Okay, you have to repeat this experiment for all different loads. Then you have to go for calculation. When you go for calculation, you have to calculate the mass of the pan and the length of the thread. Now we have to turn on the balance.